How about the Yahud? How about the Yahud? What is their belief in the Masih? And why is our Prophet ﷺ saying that the majority of the followers of Dajjal will be from that group? Well, in Jewish eschatology, the term Masih, it refers specifically, they do have this aqidah, and it refers to a future king from the line of David. Okay? So, mainstream Jewish belief is that there will be a person from the line of David, from the descendants of Dawood, who will be a king, and he will be anointed, Masih. He will be anointed with holy oil, and he will bring in the messianic age. He will bring in the end of times. So, the Masih in their aqidah is called the King Masih, Malach Mashiach, Malach Mashiach. The King Masih, because for them the Masih is a political figure, not a religious reformer. Okay? For them it was, the Masih is a one of power and politics, and not somebody who comes tazkiyatun nafs, and Isa is coming and telling them, ubashirukum, and giving you glad tidings. The bushra is the evangelion, the evangelical, the Injil evangelical. By the way, evangelical and Injil, the same term. Injil is Injil, the good tidings. The evangelical, that's where it comes from. So the Masih in Jewish folklore is a king from the line of Dawood, who will bring about the restoration of the status of the Israelites and reconstruct the temple of Israel. Okay? So they do believe in the Masih as a political figure, and who will bring back the kingdom of who? Of Dawood. And this has been a mainstream of ancient, medieval, and even some modern Jewish movements, as we're going to come to right now. And that is why, dear Muslims, when the Masih Isa came and he began preaching to the Bani Israel, and he claimed he was the Masih, the Yahud did not care about a Masih that's a spiritual reformer. They wanted a Masih who is what? Who is a king. And so when they found out that this person is not a king, they went and complained to the king, to the Roman emperor, and they said, we have a man who is claiming to be the king of the Israelites. Did Isa claim to be king? Hello, did Isa claim to be king? Why did the Yahud say he's claiming to be king? Are you guys following this? Because he claimed to be the Masih, and in the eyes of the Yahud, the Masih is who? The king. And so, what happened with Pontius Pilate, what happened with them happened, and they said, oh, this is a political agitator. They would not have cared if Jesus said he is a religious reformer. They didn't care. What is there to do with a religious reformer? But they did worry that he's claiming to be a king. They don't want any political trouble. And that's why what happened. And so they then went to arrest him. And then what happened, we will talk maybe in another lecture. What do we Muslims believe, and what are the various theories out there? But anyway, now you understand that issue. Now the issue we need to come back to is that belief in the advent of the Masih was a mainstream of Jewish theology, and for them the Masih will bring back the power and the izzah of the kingdom of David that used to be. And therefore, as I mentioned to you earlier, we should all be aware that there are three strands, right, of Judaism in our times. They are, number one, which one? Orthodox. Number two, conservative. Number three, Reform. There are others, reconstructions, but for ours, let's just keep it these three. And the bulk of them in our times are Reform. Okay? Actually, another tangent, but again, this is stuff you should be aware of. This is something interesting. Around 20, 30 years ago, the Orthodox were so minuscule that the assumption was they would disappear. It would be gone, especially in the 70s. But there has been a massive revival, and more Yahud are joining the Orthodox, even if their parents were not Orthodox. And so the Orthodox movement has swelled in ranks. and I don't know the latest statistics, but I think maybe up to 15%, which is a big number compared to what it was in the 70s. 15%, like, 1 out of 8 is an Orthodox, okay? And one of the reasons, by the way, again, all of this is a tangent, but inshallah it is beneficial to us as Muslims, because we need to learn from the good and the bad. We need to see history, we need to learn what's going on. The fact of the matter is, why is there a return to orthodoxy? Frankly, because when you have a religion whose values become so watered down that they don't stand for anything, the very people say, what is this? It's not a religion anymore. And they will go back to an actual religion. And this is a big warning to those amongst the Muslim community who are flirting with progressive Islam. When Islam becomes the flavor of the month, then you have no Islam left. Then what is the purpose of being a Muslim? When the halal becomes what is politically correct, and the haram becomes what is politically incorrect, and you have no backbone to stand on, and you think you are preserving your faith, in reality you are losing it. Your children will not have any faith. What do you have left anymore? Our faith is not based upon the whims of society around us. We have the Quran, we have our Sharia, we have the Wahy from Allah. Now I'm not saying we have to be intransigent. No, our ulama, especially our forward-thinking ulama, have to navigate the flow. Where there's allowance, we will take it. But where there is none, we will not take it. Where there's a red line, we do not go that area. So that's a point we learn. In the 1960s, 70s, there was a massive, as I said, almost everybody is going reform. Their own children began rejecting it. And they said, what is this? There's nothing there. There is no, to be reformed, you can be atheist. You can deny God. There's no Sharia. You can eat pork and whatnot. And there's like, what is left of my Jewishness? They will say, what is left if there's nothing? So there's going back to the asl. And the asl is Orthodox. That is the hardcore literalism. Now, within Orthodox, there are many strands. And of course, you have the Hasidic Orthodox. You are all familiar with the Hasidic, H-A-S-I-D-H, the Hasidic. And the Hasidic in particular is a strand of Orthodox. They have a very strong and passionate belief about the coming of the Messiah, that he's very imminent, just about to appear. And they believe, and this is important again, that the more pious they are, the more quickly the Messiah will come. And that explains their fervousness. That explains their literalism. Right? They want to be, the more pious they are, so the more faithful they are, the faster will come the Messiah. Right? And so they are very, very hardcore about this.